Alright everyone, here we are again, trying to finish this whole thing off. Anyway, once again, we are reacting to All Deltarune Chapter 1, Gaster Eggs. This is the final part. It was an interesting set of videos to make. So, I hope you all enjoy these videos. If you did, be sure to hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content and all that. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when a new video comes out. The link to this video will be down in the description below, so if you want to see this uninterrupted, the whole thing, not into parts or anything, be sure to check that out and give the creator of this video some love and support. Also, in the comment section below, tell me your favorite part to this video, as well as what you want me to react to next. I'll react to it as soon as possible. Now, with this said, I'm honestly anxious to see the final part to this, so let's continue on, shall we? Okay, let's go.
Follow it up with a second question in the same playthrough. Oh, can I ask you something else about her? Well, did it seem like she, wait, you definitely wouldn't know that. I think basically Noelle was just gonna ask, is she into girls? Maybe that's a little presumptuous of me, but that seems like that's where she was going, but she won't take it any further than that. Kind of closes off the line of communication there. Someone pointed out that the antlers on the reindeer folk look a little bit like the DeviantArt logo. I mean, you don't have a lot of pixels to work with here. It's like,
I mean, we're working with a small amount of space with pixelated dots, so yeah, it's gonna look like that, but not actually be that. So, no reason why to say something like that.
could just be coincidental. But hey, a lot of artists started out posting things to DeviantArt. I wouldn't be surprised if Toby had a profile as well. Another thing people pointed out that they found weird was the fact that Noelle has antlers at all. In most ungulates, deers, and such, the females don't grow antlers. Reindeer, which are actually the same as caribou, can be an exception. It's not always the case, but there are populations of...
This is an interesting bit to be notified about. I didn't know that certain deers, especially the female species, can actually grow antlers. I thought Toby just did that just because, hey, why not? It's a world of fiction, so might as well go with that. So, that's an interesting bit of knowledge to put there. Don't know what to say about it, though. Guess we'll just roll with it.
where the female grow antlers as well. So it still makes sense in the end. A lot of people in the comments had questions about going behind any of the buildings, seeing as that was a thing you could do with Sans' house in Undertale. If you go up and around the corner, it's kind of strange because these three rooftops don't fit with the buildings underneath, but no, there is no way to access the backside of those buildings. You know, there's lots of opportunity to go behind buildings and stuff. I've checked them all, it doesn't seem like there's anything you can actually do. Knock knock. No response, but the distant trousel of bones. Bone Trousel is the name of Papyrus's theme track. What's interesting is you can't talk to Papyrus, you don't interact with him, you don't see him anywhere in this game, although the sound effect for his
That's the sound of his music? That's the name of his music? I actually never knew the name of it. Huh. That's, something new I learned about Papyrus today. Huh. Gonna have to make a note of that.
Dialogue still exists in the game files. When you're talking to Sans, you can ask him about friends. He says, I just moved here, you can use some friends. You say, me, why not be friends with me? Whoa there, Tiger. You can't just jump straight into friendship, it takes time. Alright, that's enough time. Take this. Call it whenever you feel like. Now you have Sans' number to call. Now normally when you call this number, it'll put you through a string of different options, and then when it comes out the other end, it says not Sans' number. And when you try to call it, the phone kept ringing infinitely. So for whatever reason, Sans, you jerk, gives you a fake number. Now because you normally wouldn't be able to call it multiple times, and there's no save point in the town, you would have to replay the game just to see what these other options are. I'm playing in the debug mode right now, so you can kind of fiddle around with things a little bit more, so I'll just reload in town and roll through the different options. When you call the number, it rings a few times. Hello? You've reached the hotline for idiot babies. Please press 1 for idiots, 2 for babies, 3 for idiot babies, and 4 for none. 1 for idiots. You're an idiot. To tell you the truth, I'm one too. Let's try our best, okay? Number 2. You're an baby. I'm one too. Let's try our best. Says the same thing, basically. The third option, you're an idiot baby. Tell you the truth, I'm one too. Let's try our best. And finally, 4 for none. Why'd you call the hotline for idiot babies if you aren't an idiot baby? And then they rudely hang up on you. Hopefully I saved people from having to play through the game 4 times for that one joke. If after that you try to call not Sans' number, ring, 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 the phone rings infinitely, nobody ever picks up, there's nothing more to it. Sans then has a new piece of dialogue regardless of which branches you chose, or whether or not you followed it up with not Sans' number. And when you ask him to talk about yourself again, he says, sorry, I don't hang out with idiot babies. They compete with my sociological niche. And I believe if you choose idiots or babies, it plays out the same way. There's a little angel doll on...
So he basically prank called us. Okay, thanks.
Rudy's desk here.
You're
Right, you and Azzy tried to make
Sans.
one too, but you wasted the whole time making huge wings for it. Which is probably referencing the whole Angel of Death final form Asriel thing from Undertale. Far south of town, there's this...
Oh, now we're talking about this one. Gaster himself. Okay, let me mentally prepare myself for this. Okay, I'm ready.
Door that's locked, covered in vines, all by itself. You can't really do anything with it. But when you stand even further south, kind of away from the door there, you start getting these weird sound effects playing. It's pretty dull and doesn't sound like a whole lot of anything, but if you turn it up and set it to 666... just another cool little tie-in there of Gaster being associated with 666. So that's pretty damn interesting, maybe something to be expanded on in Chapter 2. There's actually several other possible ties to Gaster in this game. There are a couple characters in the game that look a little bit like Gaster. Interestingly, they're the 2 shopkeepers, one of which is actually Rule's card. You can just see in the smile, the missing eye, there's just some very vague similarities going on there.
It's vague, but that doesn't mean it's true. I mean, this guy right here might be somewhat affected by Gaster's influence, but not him. I think he's just a spaz. I don't have a high opinion of him. I just don't. Sorry to say, I don't. I really don't.
Out of a very extensive original soundtrack, 9 of these are confirmed to use leitmotifs of Gaster's theme. A lot of theories about Gaster in this game floating around now. Gerson, the silly little turtle from Undertale, seems to have passed away because there's now a Gerson Boom memorial bench. And just next to that, we have a Gerson gravestone, renowned historian, author, and teacher. All 3 of these gravestones are actually quite significant. Crystal, a snowy gemstone for a proud mother. Mutler, a big bone for the leader of the pack. And Shira, a karaoke microphone for a brave singer. Now these are actually gravestones for the 3 amalgamates from Undertale. Or rather, the
Really?
monsters who would have become the amalgamates. So just kind of nice to have them resting in peace rather than being
I thought that was for... The microphone was for Mettaton's ghost, because technically he was a ghost that possessed a robot, right? I've read that once. Yeah, I just think I'm wrong about that kind of detail. But that's kind of nice that they made something for the amalgamates. Anyway.
horrible twisted monsters. You can talk to Burger Pants, who's now working for Icy's Pizza. You can talk to him about the people he works with. One of the things he has to say is, purple guy, man, that guy, you gotta... Actually, does that guy even work here? Which is presumably a reference to Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, he's probably likely just talking about this, but being a pizzeria and the specific wording and everything, it seems to be a reference to that. Here we can see Napstablook's house. I'm afraid no one's home right now. There's theory.
I'm trying not to make this actual song sound because copyright. Can't really do that, but yeah. It would be hilarious if that was the case. So, house. Right,
Theories that it's
got it.
actually Mettaton staying in here. Afraid no one's home, darling. Why don't you prance on home? Knock, knock again. I'm telling you, they're not home right now. Oh, you just wanted to talk to me? My apologies, beautiful. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a nobody. And so the darling, beautiful, things like that, it seems like Mettaton is staying within Napstablook's house, whereas Mettaton's house is usually next door. It leans the opposite direction, and it has a pink color. Kind of the new running theory is that this is Mettaton when they are still a ghost, when they're Hapstablook, as Papyrus would call them. In this world, Alphys either isn't the brilliant scientist that she is in Undertale, or they never crossed paths. But likely what's going on is Mettaton is still a ghost, uncomfortable with their body, and as such has become kind of a recluse, and now just hides away in here. The interesting thing is that Napstablook does appear to still be in the game, and that he's actually hanging out at the police station. You knock on the door of the police station, someone's coming up to the window, they just close the blinds. Seems like the police aren't really feeling it right now. This is a line that Napstablook uses when you fight them. It's part of their dialogue for one of their, non-attacks.
Really? Huh.
Another interesting thing is that at the end of Undertale, it says that Napstablook kind of avoided the Azrael apocalypse, or whatever you want to call it, by simply closing the blinds and hiding away. So this is very in character, and it would make sense because Undyne and Napstablook were buddies in Undertale. They both ended up as police officers together. Kind of seems like Napstablook is the outgoing one, and Mettaton is the introvert this time.
That's an interesting twist. And again, they're in the surface and don't really need a superstar to keep people's spirits up, so yeah, makes sense.
It's an unlabeled book. You look inside. Oh, I accidentally returned my personal journal instead of my book. Oh no, they're putting it into their catalog. Oh no, I have to take it out every time I want to write a new entry. The all lowercase, the overuse of ellipses, the overuse of oh no. It's a good chance that Napstablook is the one who's taking this in and out all the time, filling out the journal. In this world, Mettaton is still a ghost. Alphys never made a body for them. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a no-body, which is a pretty damn good play on words there. I'm a big fan of that. If that wasn't Toby's intention, then he should take credit for it as that, because it's very funny. This entire interaction plays out very similarly to when you meet Asgore in Undertale during either a neutral or pacifist run. Is someone there? Just a moment, I've almost finished watering these flowers. Here we are. Howdy, how can I... This is another one of those super on-the-nose things, but these 7 flowers that Asgore has stashed away up here are the same color as Flowey and the human souls.
No, really? I would have never real. Of course, it is about the 7 souls. Well, 6 souls in Flowey. I hope we never see Flowey again, to be honest. That would be very tragic if Flowey just came out of nowhere and we realized, oh my gosh, Asriel died. That would suck.
Alternately, with the egg, you can go to Asgore's house, and he only has a lowly pickle jar sitting in the fridge, so you can help him, stay fed and put the egg in the fridge with the pickle, but when you come back to the fridge, it now says there's 2 eggs in the fridge, so pretty weird little interaction there. Another layer to this is when you drop the egg, get the what egg dialogue, it suddenly just appears in the fridge. And you see, for some reason, a lone egg. It's an egg alongside the pickle jar rather than it turning it into an egg as well. For some reason, there's a lot of weird, separate, different possible interactions with this egg and this fridge. You decide to pass on it. I thought this was kind of interesting. On the floor, there's all these scattered papers in Asgore's place. It's a note. It says, "No rent received again. Stop giving away flowers. Start selling them. You have 1 month. See." It would be awful strange for the mayor to be in charge of evictions, but maybe we're getting a little bit of a hint of what the mayor's name is going to be. If we're going off characters we've met, there's Caddy, but that doesn't make sense. And C-Round, technically, but that was only in the Dark World. I'm curious, I don't think there's anything more to be garnered from that in this current chapter, but maybe we'll finally find out who C is coming up in Chapter 2. Calling in the Dark World doesn't work at all when you call from in town. Toriel basically just tells you to walk home or that she's busy, and it's pretty basic dialogue. It's slightly different if you call from within the house. If you're in the bathroom of your own house and use the cell phone to call home, it rings. "Hello, Dreamer residents, who might this be? Chris? Don't make me come over there." For some reason, there's a lot of ways to mess with Toriel. From the coming and going of the house, flushing the toilet, calling her repeatedly. I don't know if any of these fall under Easter eggs or anything like that, but it is fun to prank your goat mom. This isn't buried deep or hidden away or anything, but there is a small little reference to Super Smash Bros. Remember that video game you and Asriel used to play? What was it called? Super Smashing Fighters? When he was very little, he loved the little green lizard, which would obviously
Reference to Super Smash Bros. And yeah. Technically Sans. No. Technically not Sans. It's more like your me character joining the fight. But yeah. I could see the reference.
be Yoshi. We even had a birthday party for him themed around it. Your father painted all these eggs with spots as decoration. Oh, your brother loved it. Until the next day your father cooked all that for breakfast, your brother just kept crying. Ever since, he's hated that book about eating green eggs, which would be Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham. Something very specific and very odd that someone pointed out to me is that the clock in this first classroom here reads 6. The one in Alfie's room is set to about 2 or 3 o'clock, and finally the one in Toriel's room is set to about 10 o'clock. I have no idea whether 3 different clocks are different. You can only interact with one, and it's a small little joke about it not being time for class. But that means those sprites weren't reused, right? There had to be unique sprites for each clock. But why go through the trouble of making every clock different? And this one clock in particular actually points to 6 and 6, which is an impossible time. If it was actually 6:30, the hour hand would be halfway to 7. Obviously 6 is a very recurring, very important number to this series, but I have no idea what's going on with the other 2 clocks. If you go to the far east...
That sounds very complicated. I really don't know what to think about it, to be honest. Maybe that room's just connected to Gaster. Or any room that was connected to Gaster will have a 6-6 on it.
East of town, past Asgore's place, these guys talk about hanging out next to the river and how nice that is. If you stand in this spot and just kind of hang out there for a few seconds.
Oh, okay. We're getting to know this.
Then eventually... we get an old friend who emerges from the lake there to chat with. There is a point in the dialogue tree where you can't backtrack on...
What the frick? What am I looking at?
Your options, and so people asked me to fill that in, same as I did for Noel and Sans in the last installment. Hey there, noticed you were here. It's me. You know me, right? Of course you do. I'm real popular. I just don't have any friends. But it's okay here, because you're here. Will you be my friend? You can say no, and he goes away. Oh, that poor guy. You
What the
actually
frick?
can't coax him back out. Even if you leave and come back, he's still gone. So, yeah, don't say no to being his friend. Yes, I'll be your friend. Oh, I'm so happy here. I'm so happy. I don't know what to do. I don't remember being this happy before. What's your name, friend? And here's where you kind of have a few options. First, you can just say Chris. That's you. That's a real nice name for a friend. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to introduce myself. Actually, since no one talks to me, I forgot my own name. Chris, can you give me a name? And now there's even more options to go through. You can call him Disgusting. And he goes away again. I'll name myself Chris for half of these and Hippopotamus for half of these. Being able to tell someone that your name is Hippopotamus is a reference to Mega Man Legend.
The game sucks. It's terrible. It's bad. I'm sorry for you Mega Man fans, but I don't like this one, the game. It's just... That's a terrible ending. That makes, like, the original Mega Man and Mega Man X, like, pointless. Why fight for this whole reason if you're just gonna F up the future? Like, seriously.
Hopper, Hippopotamus, it's you. Big name, but it's worth it. Hippopotamus, can you give me a name? Azrael the Second. Azrael 2, Sounds familiar. Feels like a memory. It feels like that good boy that threw those good cornflakes in the water for me. Wait, what was the name? Cereal? Yeah, I love cereal. Bathe me in flakes. Thank you for giving me a name. I'll cherish it, you hear? Hyper Potato Mask? That's your name, right? I want to tell you something. Tomorrow. Something I can only tell a friend.
Oh.
Come back soon, you hear?
Now I'm creeped out. What the heck's wrong with you, dude?
Hey, Chris again this time.
What the heck?
This time, your name can be Beauty. Wow, what a wonderful name. Feels like my self-esteem's in full bloom. Feels like my head's about to flower. Wait, what was the name? Bootus? Yeah, perfect. Which, total side note, side reference thing, might be a reference to Pootus from Team Fortress 2. The taste, the smell, thank you for giving me a name. I'll cherish it, you hear? Christmas? That's your name, right? I want to tell you something tomorrow. Something I can only... same thing. And so now the remaining option will...
That still creeps me out. That really creeps me out.
To give Onion Sand their proper name back. Onion. It's perfect, you hear? I don't know what it means, but it's perfect. Feels like it's shaped like me. Feels like it smells like me. Wait, what was the name? Yum? Yeah, it's perfect. Yum. That's my name. Thank you for giving me a name. I'll cherish it, you hear? And then it plays out the same Hyper Potato Mask and blah blah blah, all that.
That's still really creepy. The ones I'm curious about were the Onion and the Azrael 2. That's really cute. It's really interesting information to give. So
I'll see you tomorrow. There you have it, all of the Onion Sand dialogue. This got asked a lot in the original video. No, you can't come back tomorrow because Chapter 1 ends when you go to bed. That is the end of this free version of the game. We'll have to wait for the entirety of Deltarune to be complete before we can actually revisit the next day. I'll let you guys discover that for yourselves to read the dialogue. Now, right from the beginning of the game, when you see this cage in the wagon, it looks like it's seen quite a few crashes. There's like a weird, ominous stain going on beside it there. It's not really sure what's going on. That maybe becomes more relevant at the very end of the game, so end game spoilers here. So the way this whole end scene plays out is already pretty damn messed up. But the fact that it said that the cage has been used often and there's a weird stain in the corner kind of hints at the idea, the possibility that this has happened before, that the soul is commonly being trapped within this cage. I don't know what the hell the implications of any of that may or may not be. It just seems to be kind of an interesting little thing to maybe consider here. We'll save that one for the game theorists. And during this segment, you can actually control the soul within the cage. So what's going on there? Was Chris a puppet the whole time? Just being controlled by this loose soul? I don't know, that's too much for me. There's been quite a...
Yeah, that part really triggers a lot of stuff. A lot of theories, a lot of thought processes. It's a very interesting subject. One I hope will give true explanation, because it's just basically Chris is just a husk and we're just the soul that's keeping him alive and all that. Makes me curious why this happened. Maybe it was something related to Gaster. I still believe that
riddling
thought
around in the
process.
back end code for this game already. There's a peculiar bit of unused dialogue that appears during the return. That's what the game calls itself when you defeat the final boss and return to town in the endgame. The lines read, "Where? Where am I? Hello? Anyone? Is anybody out there? Someone, anyone, can you hear me? It's dark. It's so dark here. Someone, anyone, if you can hear me, say something. Please." Pretty spooky call for help overall. A strong possibility is that this was meant for being behind the door with the vines, but we can't really know. If you right-click on the game file and look at its properties, the file version is listed as 666. There's some interesting things to do with 6 in the Undertale world, like the 6 human souls. 666 is associated with Gaster. It might not be a direct reference to anything, it might just be a fun little thing that Toby slipped in there. Now, I feel like this is going to turn into more weird conspiracy theory stuff, but in that opening sequence it says the vessel and creator will be discarded. But technically, in the app data on your computer, that stuff is still stored. That might just be by nature of how the game code is written, but it might actually implicate that things aren't as they seem, and even though it tells you it's discarded, it was stored away somewhere. Even more interesting, if you dig through those files, there is a love meter. It defaults to 1.000 and it never changes because love isn't in the game the same way it was in Undertale. This could be a weird leftover relic of Toby's coding from Undertale, or again, it could hint at future things for this story. This is getting into some weird back-end stuff, but the way that Game Maker works, which Undertale and Deltarune were both made in, each individual room is given a code number, so if you change your character's location in the code to 131 or anything higher than that, anything that isn't associated with an actual room in the game will instead transport you to this thing, and you instead have Doggy Rune. It's kind of an obscure secret, but I think Toby knew that people were going to go rooting around in the game files. Setting your character location to anywhere that doesn't actually exist in-game instead sends you to Deltarune. The dog check is something Toby also used in Undertale. It's a bit of a bug testing tool, while also a way to mess with cheaters, but at the same time it kind of rewards you, because you get this unique screen and a song specifically made to go along with it. And that's just fun. Not like Undertale fun. Some of the folks...
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I probably would do the same thing if I was making a game. Making sure that no one would actually try to cheat their way. Yeah, I would totally do that. Would get really annoying. If someone just tried to go into game files that weren't done yet, just to get something that they shouldn't be looking at. So, yeah, I can understand why Toby would do that. be really annoying. Oh well.
Over on Reddit discovered an awesome series of prompts that you get when you copy and erase save files. There's all sorts of different interactions that play out there. I think you have to do it on a fresh install, so I don't want to do it on my own save file, so I am going to directly use theirs. First off, if you try to copy a file that does not exist, it is barren and cannot be copied. Choose the one to copy, choose the target for the reflection. The division is complete. Now copy your file and choose the target as the one you just copied. Overwrite or do not. If you say do not, it retained its original shape. Same sequence of things there, and do overwrite. It will be subsumed. It conformed to the reflection. If you try to copy a save file onto itself, it reads it is immune to its own image. Choosing one to erase, you choose an empty slot. It was already gone. Select to erase, go to your copy, yes or no. No, then it was spared. Erase again to the copy, yes. Then it will be destroyed, erase or do not, then it was spared. Erase, truly erase it, yes, definitely confirm. It was as if it was never there at all. I left this to the very end of the video because it's just crazy, and I hadn't seen anyone else talk about it, so good work to those guys over on Reddit who found that one. It's really cool. There's a lot of interesting comparisons here as to what our save file actually means, whether it actually exists. That obviously is saying a lot about the game, and builds very much off Undertale's endgame concepts of destroying and creating worlds. We even specifically see some of that here. We're absolutely gonna have to wait for the full Deltarune to really have any answers to that. Genuinely, thank you guys all so much for the support. If you haven't seen it, go and watch my Pieces of Gaster video. If you like this sort of stuff, you're going to love that. I'm trying to make it the ultimate Gaster theorizing experience. I won't keep you any longer. Go check that out. Give it a shot. You're gonna like it. I'm so excited to be sharing this. I think it's just a fun little way to say thank you, and kind of like having my spaghetti and eating it too. I get to keep those highly viewed videos over on the original channel, but now this new channel gets this extra bit of love with the primo viewing experience. I hope longtime viewers appreciate some of the expansions, additions, and revisions that went into this rather than simply re-editing those original videos. Yeah, it was a pretty big undertaking. It feels good to clean up all the instances where I was saying Deltarune. I apologized for that at some point in those 4 videos, but now it should all be Deltarune. I hope. Thank you to patrons of the channel for all your support. Check that out for some cool behind the scenes, the opportunity to vote in polls.
Now this is interesting last bit. I have to say, of all the things here, my favorite part was this little trick Toby did for cheaters and all that, or those who try to go too much into the code. I like it. It's pretty unique and well done. Gotta give him credit for that, and it's really understandable. So, plus the whole dog thing, just it looks nice. It looks nice. Okay, it just looks nice. So, anyway, yeah, this was a interesting last piece to do. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when a new video comes out. Tell me your favorite part to this last video about the Chapter 1 Gaster Eggs. And if you have any videos that you want me to react to, be sure to leave them down in the comments section down below. With all this said, I hope you all enjoy. And as a reminder, the link to this video will be down in the description below, so be sure to give the original creator some love and support. With all this said, truly, I'll see you all next time. Bye!